Imagine this. You're in a room, you have a gun in your hand, and you have a frightened out, chickened out piece of junkie who you're most definitely going to kill in the next 5 minutes. Because that's what you do for a living. You're in the shady business. So now, how will you build up to the moment where you actually kill this person? Look him in the eye and say, "Oh, I've been looking for you for so long and I finally got you." Or talk to him about how he killed your whole family when you were only 5 and now you're going to chop off every part of his body to get your revenge. Or maybe just hear me out. Talk about hamburgers.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
And then bam! Kill the guy, knock him dead. That's what you see in Quentin Tarantino's films. Expecting the unexpected. The unglorification of death. A very unorthodox way of creating tension in the scenes, and most importantly, the batshit crazy art of storytelling. Let's talk about that today. Okay, so I've been a Tarantino fan for quite some time now. I'll be lying to myself and you guys if I say that I've seen all of his work. But yeah, I've seen a significant amount of his work. At least the classic. In the past few weeks, I decided to revisit some of his films and watch some of them for the first time. And today I want to talk about what I've learned from Tarantino's films, both on a professional and on a personal level. Okay, so before getting started, I just want to say one thing, that I'm just a 20-year-old. So all of my perspective of his work comes from the lenses of a 20-year-old. I try to keep an open mind, but there's just something that comes to you with age, right? I realized that what I just said didn't really make sense. So let's just start. Here are 4 things that I have learned after watching Quentin Tarantino's films. Number 1, death just happens. Watching films, especially Hindi films, we've been made to think that death comes to us in a very grandeur manner and it gives us time to sink in. Whereas in reality, death just happens, and Tarantino films show that. I mean, you can die in the most funny, in the most unexpected manner, and that's just how it is. There's no glory attached to death. And also, life doesn't give you a time to sink in, right? Then why do you expect death to do it for you? One of the classic examples of this can be seen in the movie Pulp Fiction, when the butcher comes into the apartment and kills Vincent. I mean, Vincent's right there laying dead in the bathroom. You don't expect one of the leads of the movie to die in that manner, do you? But that's just how it is. Death just happens, I guess. Number 2, a conversation scene can be freaking amazing. Okay, this is coming completely from a fan's boy point of view, but I believe that Tarantino has the art of taking a normal conversation scene and just converting it into an epic sequence. He shows that you don't really need all the biggest production in the world and all the technological advancement in the world to achieve it. You just need 2 actors, 2 amazing actors most of the time, who are just engrossed in their characters, and 2 conventional angles, and you can achieve it. Okay, not exactly 2 conventional camera angles, but you get my point, right? Take the first scene from Inglourious Basterds, for instance. It's a typical conversation scene, but Tarantino uses this amazing directional and storytelling skills to elevate the scene to a level where you can slowly feel the tension building in the room minute by minute, and you can slowly feel Landa getting an upper hand over the farmer. Tarantino's film Jackie Brown is one of those films that's, I'd say, based on conversation scene for 70% part of it, I think. Take the scene from Jackie Brown, for instance. It's a normal conversation scene between 2 friends, and it slowly starts elevating to a level where this guy ends up killing this guy, who's believed to be one of the best friends of this guy. And then this guy just slowly walks out of the car. I think this scene from Jackie Brown accurately shows what I've been trying to talk about in the first 2 points. Coming to the third point, and I think I already talked about this in the intro, and it is to expect the unexpected while watching a Tarantino film. I feel like Tarantino does an amazing job in not giving his viewers any clue as to what's going to happen next. You just cannot predict what's going to happen in a Tarantino movie in the next 10 to 15 minutes. You feel like one character is the messiah of the film and he's gonna save everyone, and then BAM! That character dies the next second. You feel like one character is a really close ally of another character, and then BAM! That another character kills that other character. That's how it is in a Tarantino film. I feel like Tarantino doesn't believe in the idiom of strike when the iron is hot. Rather, he makes his own medium and it goes something like strike when the iron is stored in a closet and no one really cares about it. Damn, I really suck at improv, man. Tarantino doesn't make movies, man. He makes stories. Stories that can be as close to the real world as possible. And I think this is something that applies to the real world as well. To expect the unexpected. Okay, so the fourth and the final thing that I learned from watching Tarantino's films is that story is everything. Tarantino said in one of his interviews that when I'm writing, it's all about the page. It's not about the cinema. It's not about how I want the film to look. It's about the pen and paper and the literature that I contain within myself. That's my first artistic contribution, and if I've done my job well enough, then at the end of writing it, I should have the thought that, if I just publish it right now and not make the film, then I'm done. Like I've done it and I don't need to worry about anything. Why do you like a film? You like it because the colors in the films are amazing, or the set design was really beautiful. I mean, yeah, sure, these are some of the factors that contribute as to how the audience receives the film. But what actually makes you hate or love a movie is the story, right? It's the story, it's the writing, and Tarantino places immense stress on writing. He says that I can't believe how some people just consider screenplay as a blueprint for the film. I write my screenplay as a novel, and then I jostle every day on set to adapt that novel into a film. It's the story that gives birth to all the other parts that we discussed in this video. If you're able to expect as to what's going to happen next in a movie, then it's not a story, right? A story is supposed to unfold page by page or sequence by sequence in the case of a movie. And you don't need a lot to write a story, right? You just need a pen and a paper. It's the journey that makes the destination worthwhile. So these were the 4 things that I was able to gather from watching Tarantino's films as a complete noob. I hope you were able to resonate with some of them. And if you're someone who hasn't watched any of Tarantino's film ever, then please do yourself a favor and start watching them. On a completely different note, I've been working on something really cool. It's something different from what you're seeing right now on this channel. I've been working with some really talented guys, and hopefully I'll be able to bring it out to you guys really soon. And hopefully that'll bring some more people on this channel, because right now there are only 4 people who are watching these videos. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna see you next week now. If you're someone who's watching me for the first time, then please consider subscribing. I know this is only my 4th video, but I plan on staying here for the long run. Goodbye, take care.
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone.